All right, now that I have completed the 10th year anniversary celebration limited time series featuring this Chevy Corvette C6r Gt2, let's check out the bonus series this car is featured in called Real Racing Redux. You'll find it in Road Collection under Masters or Master, right? The bonus series features two other cars, McLaren F1 GTR from the year 1995, right? And Beamer, BMW M3 Gt2 ALMS from the same production year as this Corvette. So here we go. What do we have? Real Racing Redux. Legends from Real Racing 2 return to the track for a clash a decade in the making. Cool, they make it sound so epic. All right, both Beamer and the Corvettes are pretty grippy, and the F1 GTR, of course, is the maniac in the group, I would say. Probably the most insane out of the three. Anyway, this is a long series. It's a 22 tier. Total number of events, I believe there are 57 events total. So, and there are, as you can see, 3 time trials featuring the 3 cars included in this series. So that is 54 trophy events and 3 time trials. And in terms of the, total rewards, there are some 74 gold to be won by 100% completing. The first 25% completion basically pays you 9 gold. And you will get there, since there are 57 events total, 14 trophies plus 1 time trial will get you the first 25% completion, which means you will be getting that in tier 6. And then the 50% completion, which pays out 14 additional gold, and then 14,000 more racing dollars. That is going to happen in tier 12 upon winning 27 gold trophies plus 2 time trials, I think. And then somewhere around there. And then 75% completion, which pays additional 20 gold and 20,000 racing dollars, will be in tier 18. Yeah. Tier 18 by winning 40 gold trophies and completing all 3 time trials. And then obviously 100% completion will be remaining 31 gold payout plus 31,000 racing dollars. And obviously, as I said earlier, 54 gold trophies plus 3 time trials completed. All right, and speaking of 100% completion, they say it requires a PR 75.6, which means out of the 3 cars featured in this series, only car to get that can reach that PR requirement, actually anywhere near that, is going to be the new Chevy Corvette C6r Gt2 that I won from the limited time series. So, for a bonus series, I would say payout in Master section is pretty good. So even if you don't 100% complete, you're still gonna get 43 gold for doing 75% completion, assuming that you own the other 2 cars, right? And since, let's say F1 GTR is not a cheap car. That car is 630 gold if you were to buy it outright. We did have a limited time series in the past to win that car, but if you are unable to win it through some sort of event like that, then Showcase discount Gets you 20% off, so you can get it for 504 gold. Here, why don't we check into the actual series event so we can look at this. And as you can see, when it's maxed out, the base PR is 51.1. When it's maxed out, it goes all the way up to 72.1. And the car is featured in 3 different series across both motorsports and the road collection. So obviously it's in this one, Real Racing Redux, under Master, and it is featured in one of the bigger box, the big box series in the Legend called McLaren Generations. And then it is also featured in the Endurance GT Racing 1998 season under Motorsports section. So yeah. And then this car, there are total of 31 upgrades available. As you can see, you can get first 8 upgrades with racing dollars only, and that'll bring your PR up to 56.9 at the cost of 741,100 racing dollars. So yeah. And then next we have the Beamer M3 Gt2 ALMS, and this one, there are only 15 upgrades available on this car. Isn't that crazy? And I got 13 of them on board this car. Why stop at 13? Because that's what you can do with racing dollar upgrade, racing dollars only. So this one, base PR starts at 60, and when it's maxed out, it does go up to 71.7. So not quite as big of a boost, simply because there's only 15 total upgrades available. And let's see, this car is a racing dollar car. So if you don't already own this one, this is the one that you can probably buy. So if you wait till the showcase discount in this series, then you will get, like, normally it's 654,000 racing dollars. So if you get 20% off of that, you can get it for 523,200 racing dollars. And this car is featured in 4 different series. The one big box main career series in expert section, the first one, Accolade Open. That's one of my favorite series. In the game, cars are not necessarily the fastest, but I find that those cars, you got 918, the concept, that's a fun beast to race around the track, especially at like a Suzuka Grand Prix. I think there's a 5-lapper that I used to use for farming way back when, like we're talking like back in 2014, some 5-6 years ago. It's like Throwback Thursday, except it's not Thursday today. Anyway, I'm sure it's Thursday somewhere. So this car featured in 4 series, Accolade Open being 1, Grip Fiends, which is a bonus series in Master section, and obviously this one, Real Racing Redux, also in Master. And there's a series featuring this car in Elite section, Global GT Clash. So 4 series with a single car. That's, racing dollar car. So that's not bad if you ask me. Anyway, so on this car, I have invested 517,900 racing dollars to get those 13 upgrades out of the 15 to bring the PR up to 70.3. So, there's, not that much difference in terms of PR. But between the 2 cars, obviously, Beamer has significantly better grip. And it's got a better acceleration too. But the top speed on the McLaren F1 GTR has always been its strength. Look at that, 406 kph. Even with the 2 extra gold upgrades on this car, that's not going to make up some 80 kilometers per hour in top speed deficit here. But better acceleration, better grip, And the braking distance, okay, fine. F1 GTR is technically better on paper, but when you're traveling down, roaring down the like Mulsanne Straight, I don't know if you're gonna notice the difference of some 2-3 meter braking distance difference. Obviously, the Beamer is gonna feel a lot grippier in general because you're slowing down from slower top speed, right? Anyway, so if you wanna fully upgrade this car, it will cost you 52 gold, additional, since I only have 2 gold upgrades left on this car. And if you check it out, yeah, it's just a final upgrade on engine and drivetrain. The other categories only have, look at that, only 2 upgrades available. So yeah, not that many there. So that's the contender number 2, the Beamer, right? And then our, I guess, main car of the series, the Corvette C6r Gt2. So right now, this is the limited time series PR. Of course, base PR started at 57. And when it's maxed out, it does go up to 77.4. Once you get the remaining 7 upgrades, which can get, well, I have to spend another like 200, almost 250 more. I think it's more like 240 gold to max it out. And yeah, if you didn't win this car and you don't have any upgrades on this car yet, then the total upgrade cost from 0 upgrade would cost you just under 500 gold, 496 gold, and 2,126,600 racing dollars. Right. With the racing dollar upgrades only, remember this one has that sort of this bizarre 4 category upgrades, which are typically something that we see in the motorsports section cars, not in the, you know, the road collection section, but nevertheless, that's what we have here. Just 4 categories, which means they are gonna get us with gold early on, because tier 2 upgrades on those are all gold. So with the racing dollar upgrades only, you're only gonna get your PR up to 59.9. Just 4 upgrades, 107,900 racing dollars. So at least it's cheap. And currently, it's featured in only 1 single bonus series, this one, since it's a new car, to the new addition to the series. So that's what we've got. And I mean, what they've been doing in recent releases is they'll release a car like this one, have it in a single bonus series, and in the following release of the game, they just create exclusive series featuring this car. So you just race the single car, assuming that you have it fully maxed out, right? So they want you to pay for it. So anyway, and when you compare the specs, significantly higher grip, as you can see, and I think obviously all the different spec do attribute to raising the PR. I think the grip has the highest say in determining the PR. So if if you've got multiple cars and they all have kind of similar spec in terms of top speed, acceleration, and braking distance, but if one car comes out with a significantly higher grip, that car's always going to have a significantly higher PR. So yeah, obviously in this case it'll be a suspension. So top speed 298 kph, so it's a little slower than the Beamer, and then significantly slower than McLaren. Acceleration once again comes in at the bottom of the grid, at least with the 21 upgrades on board. And the braking distance 24.4 meters, which is the best. And then obviously grip significantly higher, coming in at 1.75 G. This car drives like it's on rails, right? And I used to think this Beamer drove like it's on rails. I still do think it does. I mean, 1.57 G, when the top speed is 322 kph, it's gonna feel very, very grippy, because this car in the main big box series, the Accolade Open, this car by far is the most grippy car in that series. Typically, I think most people farm with either this one or the 918, depending on your mood, I guess. I've always preferred 918 just simply because it's a little bit more playful. You can get a little tail happy with that one. In other words, it does spin a little bit more. You have to be a little bit more precise with your braking and your cornering. So this car is more forgiving, basically. So if you're just like in the mood for just farming and don't want to think too much, then this car is probably a better choice in that instance. Anyway, so those are the 3 cars featured in this bonus series. Let's go ahead and unlock all the tiers and see what we got, since that's what we do here, right? So tier 1, we got Hunter at the Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca. Speed Snap at Kota Austin Circuit, Club Circuit, the back half, right? And then Cup is going to be at Dubai National, 2 laps. Tier 1 doesn't have any PR requirement, of course. Excuse me. And upon completing all 3 events in Tier 1, does unlock Tier 2. But right now, I'm going to use Gold. We got Endurance at Monza Road Course. So that target distance will depend on your performance, right? And then Autocross at Red Bull Ring National Circuit, followed by Cup at Daytona Motorcycle Course, PR 53.7. So aside from McLaren F1 GTR, the other 2 cars, base PR is high enough to get through that one. It's going to be a 2-lap Cup. And upon completing all the events up till this point, by completing, I mean winning trophy, right? Up on podium, right? Tier 3, you got Elimination and Hockenheim National, Head-to-Head and Mount Panorama, single lap. And the Cup at the Brickyard, the road course, 54.9 is the PR requirement for this 2-lap Cup. And then, without necessarily completing Tier 3, upon completing 2 of them, you unlock the F1 GTR Showcase, where there are 2 events, Speed Snap at Spa and the Cup at Monza Road Course, 2 laps, and of course, no PR requirement because it's a showcase event. And when you unlock this tier, of course, you will be offered 20% discount on the car, the cost of the car if you don't own it already. And then at the same time, it looks like it will unlock the time trial as well. And that's going to be at Melbourne. Interesting choice of circuit for this car, because obviously Melbourne, very narrow city circuit. Cup event seems like it's better suited at the Cathedral of Speed, right? Monza. All right. And then 9 trophies. So if you skip the showcase for the McLaren, you're still able to continue on with a tier 6 here. A drag race at Suzuka East. Speed record at Bugatti Circuit. And the Cup is going to be at Nürburgring Grand Prix. PR 55.9 required. And it's going to be a 2-lap Cup. All right. So far, even to this one, McLaren is the only one that needs upgrades, right? And moving on to tier 7, we got Autocross at Berlin Circuit, Formula E Circuit, Endurance at Porsche Test Track, short on-road circuit, which means it's going to be, you can use it as an infinite race if you really want, as the infinite sign in the screen suggests you can go on forever. And although I don't think the payout, there are better race that you can use with a, higher payout at a lesser time, right? because faster car would cover more distance, like say FXXK, for example. It's more expensive though, obviously, because that's going to be in the exclusive series of that car, and that's not a cheap car. But very nice car, nonetheless. Okay, and Tier 7, the cup is going to be a Brands Hatch. PR 58.7 is required for the 6-lapper. So this is the first one. Even Corvette is going to need slight upgrades. Although, if you won the car, your PR should be in the 70s, so no worries there. And with a Beamer, you're still going without any upgrades. All right, moving on to the next tier, Tier 8. We got elimination at Silverstone National, speed record at Daytona Motorcycle Course, and the cup at Mazda Raceway. PR 59.6 is required for the 3 laps around Laguna Seca circuit. All right. So 59.6 seems like that's going to be the last tier that we will be able to do if you're running with the Beamer without any upgrades, because the base PR is 60 on that one. Speaking of, the next tier is the showcase featuring just that car, M3 Gt2 ALMS. And we got endurance at Catalunya National and the cup at Suzuka Grand Prix. Just 2 laps. And the time trial is going to be at Bugatti circuit for that this car, which is, I would say, that's a pretty well suited circuit for this car, I think. All right, moving on. Tier 11, got head-to-head at the Brickyard Indianapolis Motor Speedway road course, just a single lapper, and the Autocross at the Red Bull Ring Grand Prix circuit. And the cup is going to be at Monza Junior course, and actually PR requirement is still 59.6, so that's same as Tier 8, isn't it? So what do you know? Another tier without needing to upgrade your Beamer. And this is going to be a 6-lap cup. So the junior course, going around in circle. Right? Would it be considered a circle, or would it be more like potato? It's a potato circuit. All right, so moving on to Tier 12. We're about halfway through this series here at this point. Endurance at Dubai International, Hunter at the Circuit of the Americas National, and the cup at Silverstone Grand Prix. PR 60.5 is required, and it's going to be a 3-lap cup. All right, moving on. Tier 13, we got Speed Snap at Nürburgring Mühlenbachschleife, Autocross at Mount Panorama, and the cup at Hockenheim Grand Prix. PR 61 is required, and it's going to be a 4-lap cup. So pretty decent length race now. And then Tier 14 is going to be the Corvette C6r Showcase, which is going to take place at head-to-head at Catalunya Grand Prix, a single lapper. And the cup at the Le Mans 24-hour circuit, 2 laps. Ooh, 2 laps. And at the same time, it will unlock this time trial, which takes place at Bathurst, Mount Panorama. All right. And next tier, Tier 16, elimination at Spa, endurance at Melbourne, and cup at Berlin circuit with a PR 61 required. And it's going to be a dizzying 6 laps around Berlin circuit. Moving on to Tier 17. So all these tiers you are able to get through with Beamer, which means, racing dollar upgrades only. I mean, given that ideally you would like to own the other 2 cars as well, but, Anyway, Tier 17, we got Hunter at Brands Hatch, Speed Snap at Laguna Seca, and the cup at Red Bull Ring Grand Prix. PR 64.4 required, and it's going to be a 5-lap cup. All right, moving on. Tier 18, we got Speed Record at Circuit of the Americas Grand Prix. It's a full lap, elimination at Monza Junior course, and the Cup at Catalunya National with the PR 67.3 required. So obviously all 3 cars still able to run through this one, and 6 laps for that one. And next, tier 19. We're past that 75% threshold at this point. We got Hunter at Porsche Test Track Dynamic Circuit, Speed Snap at Suzuka Grand Prix, and Cup at Daytona Road Course. PR 70 is required. And it's going to be 4-lap Cup. Right. So PR 70. I suppose this will be the last tier I'll be able to complete with the M3 Gt2. All right. Then on to tier 20. We got Autocross at Nürburgring, Sprint Circuit, Speed Record at Dubai Hill Circuit, and the Cup at Bugatti Circuit. And this one, we got a PR jump, 72.5. So that means Corvette is the only car with extra upgrades, because obviously my limited time series PR doesn't quite cut it, although the last upgrade on the brakes is just racing dollars, so I should be able to at least complete this event with the extra racing dollars. And that takes me down to the next tier, tier 21. By the way, yeah, Cup at Bugatti Circuit, 5 laps. All right, and as I said, Corvette is going to be the only contender there, at least to first unlock it. Once you won gold trophy, all 3 cars can race there. You know the drill. And the penultimate tier, tier 21. Elimination at Daytona Road Course, head-to-head at Berlin Circuit. We like Berlin Circuit here. Single lapper. And then Cup is going to be at Melbourne with a PR 74.2. So yeah, that's going to require some serious number of upgrades. 8 laps if you like Melbourne. There's a race for you. And then final tier, tier 22. We got Speed Snap at Brands Hatch, Hunter at Red Bull Ring Grand Prix, and the final Cup is going to be at Bathurst. PR 75.6 is required, and that means you need to get pretty much everything on this car maxed out except for engine to meet that PR requirement. So it's pricey, you know, but yeah, that's pretty typical. Nothing new there, right? So it's going to be a 5-lap Cup. So there you go. So that will do it for this bonus series overview featuring the brand new Corvette C6r Gt2. Thanks for watching, and we'll see if we can make some progress through this series since we do have that instant service offer going on right now. So we'll catch you guys in the next video. Until then, take care.